Welcome to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. My name is Chief here, and with me, as always, is, well, not today. Mike Honcho is MIA, so to speak. But I do have a great friend, Juicy, here with me.
What's up, everybody?
So, Juicy, are you ready to do some picks this week?
Yeah, I'm ready to do some picks. I know we don't have a lot of very, I guess you could call them sexy matchups.
Well, TCU did a very good job against West Virginia, winning 40-10. Are you impressed by that win, Juicy?
I'm impressed with TCU winning that game like that because I thought it might have been a little bit closer than that, but I was impressed. TCU winning that took care of business like they should have been doing. I know they had a lot of close games this year.
Yeah, that is pretty good. And North Carolina did pull the upset over Pittsburgh, which I didn't think was much of an upset, though, because they were winning by 17 points by the time it was halftime. But then Pittsburgh did sort of make it a game toward later on in the game, but it wasn't enough to pull off the win against North Carolina. North Carolina's undefeated in the ACC this year. Juicy, are you impressed by North Carolina so far?
Wait, what you said their record was?
They're undefeated. They're 4-0.
Oh, wow. I don't know who they really beat in the ACC, though, but I'm pretty impressed. I didn't even know they were 4-0 in the ACC, actually. I've seen they were a few votes short of being a top 25 team, but I thought North Carolina was going to beat Pitt anyway.
Yeah.
I know Pitt really hadn't played the heavyweights in the ACC either.
Pitt was one of those teams that we all kind of expected to fall eventually. I was going to go with North Carolina when that game was going to be played and TCU. But, upsets do happen. If you want to consider that an upset, go ahead. I'll say it is an upset because, that's a higher ranked team. So, we'll go with that. Off that logic. So, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
We only have, like you had mentioned, Juicy, we only have one top 25 matchup this week, which is going to be Temple and Notre Dame. So it will be a very interesting show, to say the least, this week. So, but before we get into the picks, Juicy, I want to know who is in your top 4. Right before we get to that. As of right now.
My top 4 teams would be Ohio State, TCU, Clemson, and LSU. I had Baylor in there, but I took them out because I know Seth Russell is out for the season, and I know their backup quarterback, when he did play a little bit in the last game or some, when he took over Seth Russell, they really seem to struggle. So until I see if he can bring them back to the level that they were, I'm going to have to stick with TCU to the top 4.
So far, my top 4 is pretty simple so far. I'm going to put Ohio State in there. Even though they do have a very poor strength of schedule, I will put them in there because, they're the defending national champions. And you have to, I say, beat the champs to be the champs, so put that logic in there for what it's worth. And I will put Clemson in there. Clemson's really impressed me this year. They're a pretty good team. They'll probably end up beating Florida State because Florida State hasn't been the team they have been in the past. Clemson has been pretty good so far. I'll put Baylor in there for what it's worth. Even though Seth Russell did get injured, Baylor is a pretty good football team. But until I see, it's kind of flip-flop between TCU and Baylor. Until they play each other, then we'll figure out that spot. And my 4th team is LSU right now because if they beat Alabama, then I think LSU deserves to be number 1 in the country.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about next week's show.
Yeah, next week's show will be the show that will dictate how some of these matchups will even go. So, all right, Juicy, you want to make some college football picks?
Let's do it, man.
All right. Like I mentioned earlier, we only have one top 25 matchup this week, and we'll save that one for last. Our first game we're going to pick here is the Miami Hurricanes versus number 22 Duke. Juicy, who you got in this game?
After Miami's atrocious loss to Clemson, I don't even see how Miami could recover. They have a lot of issues. I don't even know if they fired Al Golden. I think
they did fire Al Golden. That's been confirmed.
Yeah, they did. Then they fired Al Golden. They got a lot of problems with their program. So give me the Blue Devils in this game. I've been pretty impressed with Duke. I know they still have yet to play Florida State or Clemson, but I think Duke should take care of the Hurricanes, probably about 14 points or so.
Well, after Miami Hurricanes' dismal performance, they got thwopped by Clemson. Clemson looked like a team that was just wrecking through Hurricanes, which they were. The Miami program is not as big of a job as it used to be back, let's say, in the early 2000s. And which arguably they did produce probably the greatest college football team of all time. That's up for debate as well. But I believe that Duke will win this game. I don't see Hurricanes being able to bounce back. They might put up a little bit of a fight, but despite losing their coach. But I think the Blue Devils will win this game and continue on. They only lost one game so far, so Duke's definitely still alive in this ACC race. They haven't lost a game in the ACC yet, so. But as points, I think Duke will win by 3 possessions. That's what I'm going with here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Temple's number 21, but we're gonna save them for later because you know that matchup's the only one we got this week. That's a marquee matchup.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks when you don't have that. Oh well. Colorado versus number 24 UCLA. Juicy.
UCLA's had their ups and downs this season. They've lost they've gotten upset, and they beat good teams. You just never know what you're gonna get out of UCLA. But I guess they've had more good than bad because they up in the top 25. So, and Colorado, well, I haven't seen nothing out of Colorado in several years. So give me UCLA in this game.
I think UCLA will win this game here. Josh Rosen for UCLA, he's been up and down. So is Paul Perkins as well. Colorado's sitting at a 500 record, 4-4 so far this year. I think that UCLA will be a very good team. They have the potential to be a very good team. They have shown they can be a good team. But, you know, they were kind of like the Saints were in the beginning of the year. They would show some promise and then they would just fall apart, which I guess that kind of explains what UCLA's been doing this year. So, give me the Bruins to win this game. Vegas has them winning by 23 points. I think it'll be less than that. I think Colorado will give them a better game, depending on what UCLA team shows up this year. But I say 14, 17 points for UCLA. I think it'll be
UCLA plays to their full potential. It'll be more than 23 points.
Yeah, like I said, you don't know what you're going to get with them. They're a Jekyll and Hyde if I ever did see one. Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde all the way, UCLA. That's how they look.
Sure statement.
Never know what you're going to get with them. All right.
About the most unpredictable team.
Yep.
Besides that Florida State game last week with Georgia Tech.
Okay, here we go. Moving on up to number 19, Ole Miss versus Auburn. Jordan Harris Stadium. Juicy, who you got?
Wow, well, I want to say Auburn's not gonna pull the upset, but they're gonna have I was gonna say it's gonna be real close, but why I think the game might be actually a good game. And I know Auburn, especially the start of the season, it wasn't pretty for them, but I'm going to go with the Rebels, though, because I think Chad Kelly and the way he can create plays and get out the pocket and roll around, and I think it's just going to be too much for Auburn defense that's still not 100% yet to handle.
I think what caused the slide for Ole Miss was whenever Chad Kelly started turning over the ball a little bit more in that game against Florida. He was terrible in that game. And they, last week they kind of got somewhat back to where they would need to be. I think Ole Miss will win this game. Laquan Treadwell, he's been pretty good for him at wide receiver. So I think they'll get the job done in Jordan Hare. Auburn, they're 1-3 in the SEC, 4-3 overall. Auburn, they probably won't even make a bowl this year, possibly. So, well, looking at Auburn's schedule, it looks kind of.
I know they got Alabama.
They do have Alabama later on in the year. Well, they lost to Arkansas, a game they had. Look, after this game, Auburn has to play Texas A&M, which I don't think they're going to win that game. Based on what
this weekend, they got to play Alabama still.
They have Georgia after that.
They might beat Georgia.
It's a possibility to flip a coin. Idaho, they'll win that one.
Yeah, they can be a 2 win.
And Alabama, that Georgia game is going to be the one, the ticker. But I don't know if they will beat Georgia. That's the thing. I don't know if they will.
They could, because Georgia's been struggling too.
Georgia has been struggling as well, but it's a possibility. I don't think Auburn will beat Georgia, though. I think Georgia will build a corrective ship by the time they get to Auburn, which is 3 weeks down the line. But I still think that Auburn's kind of they haven't been Auburn this year. Let me say it like that. And who would have thought? And who would have thought Florida would have been the team? Yeah, that's when everybody should have threw some red flags up and said Auburn's not that good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next game on the list is Vanderbilt versus number 18, Houston. Who you got, Juicy?
I know Houston's undefeated, and Vandy, I know they're doing pretty poor. I know Houston's favored by about 14 points in this game, and I expect Houston to continue their winning ways against Vandy, even though I think the game will be closer than 13 points in this game. Give me the Cougars to go at 8-0 and stay undefeated.
I got Houston winning this game. I think it'll actually be more than what you think it will be, Juicy. Houston is a very good team this year. Greg Ward Jr. has been very good as a quarterback. He's leading the team in rushing and being a good quarterback as well. So, dual threat quarterback there. Don't think Vandy's got the players to be able to contain him. DeMarcus Ayers has been pretty good for Houston as well this year. Very good team on both sides of the ball. Give me Houston in this game. I'll say they'll get 20. I think they'll get a 21-point victory over Vanderbilt. I don't think Vanderbilt's as good as Houston. Which is, I don't think it's really much of a stretch, to be honest with you.
What, 21 points?
Yeah, 21 points.
It could be between 13 and 21 points. 10 points, you never know.
Yeah, well, next game on the list is Syracuse versus number 17, Florida State. Juicy?